Hello friends, this is Pete Sanderson of Sanderson Photo Art. You're in my art studio and today I'll be discussing a little bit about how I do greeting cards. Most recently I've had a number of individuals ask me which vendor I use to print my greeting cards. I self-fulfill, which means I print my own cards, I produce them, and I sell them. We'll spend a little time today talking about how I went about designing my cards and a little bit about my printing workflow. So I have 4x6 cards that are blank on the inside, but have a printed front and a printed back. The printed back has a description and my logo. When I started out to design my cards, I wanted to make sure that my cards would fit into a standard frame available at any local retail store. That meant my cards would either be 4x6 or 5x7. I chose a 4x6 arrangement primarily because I have an Epson archival printer that can print on a piece of paper 24 inches wide. If I have a card that is 4x6, it actually prints on a piece 4x8, and if you have three 8-inch cards right beside each other, that's a full 24 inches. A design issue that I had to figure out was that my printer really does not do well printing full edge to edge. So my cards were designed so that there was a blank at either edge, really at the bottom of where my logo is, and printing two cards side by side would give me 6 cards per page. I sell my cards either 5 per stack or singly. Of interest, when I'm at a show, I tend to sell more single cards, but when I'm selling online, it tends to be in groups of 5. So printing 6 cards at a time seems to be able to fulfill both of those needs at the same time. I set up a template within Photoshop and played around with it quite a bit in order to get the right setup. And what I've done is used a feature within Photoshop called Smart Objects. So I have a smart object set up for my description and a smart object set up for my logo. That smart object then is reproduced 6 different times on the entire template. With a smart object, it allows me to be able to edit the smart object in one frame and it updates in all the frames. I like the name Smart Object because it really is pretty smart to be able to update once and have it updated through the whole template. The same holds true with the image. Have a Smart Object that defines the image. All I have to do is place an image in Photoshop into that Smart Object, save it, and it populates all of the other 5 images on the sheet. I then go ahead and print the card on my 24-inch printer, and my workflow thereafter ensues cutting it down the middle and then using a paper cutter to cut each individual card. I then crease the cards in a process I'll show you on another video, fold the cards, cut them to size, and then they're ready to go. One of my unique features of my greeting cards is that I sign each and every one of my greeting cards. Because the greeting cards are printed on exactly the same paper that I print my archival prints on, and I sign them, they really become 4x6 pieces of small art fitting perfectly into a 4x6 frame. So it ends up being that it can be either a greeting card or a very inexpensive fine art card. I do find that many people, when they purchase the cards, don't like to send them because they end up being so beautiful, I encourage them to order more so that they can always send them. But oftentimes the folks that receive the cards will frame it and keep it in a cherished, treasured place. So that's my basic workflow. If you have interest about learning about smart objects and how I use Photoshop, DM me and we can have a greater conversation. Hey, thanks so much for spending a little bit of time with me, and I hope this helps you out in any of your workflows as you decide to produce your own greeting cards at some time in the future. Bye-bye.